Now, the national, or rather the Nairobi County poll was conducted between the 5th and the 9th of May this very year, and it offers a critical snapshot of voters' preferences. Also, as we walk towards looking at the elections that are coming around 2 years from now. Now, with a sample size of 1,068 registered voters, the survey reveals intriguing trends in the gubernatorial areas and also looks at matters concerning a fierce competition that we expect. Now, these findings not only provide actionable insights for the candidates and the policymakers, but also underscores the dynamic nature, particularly of Nairobi's political landscape, which seems to be quite shifty. While the results point towards decisive leads for certain figures, they also expose vulnerabilities, such as high undecided voters within the capital county, and also in the women representative race that could actually reshape the outcomes. Now, the report also distills key takeaways and explores the implications and offers strategic recommendations to inform campaign strategies and voter engagement ahead of the 2027 polls. And perhaps just to go right into it, looking at the gubernatorial race, we find that Honorable James Gakuya leads these polls with 35.7%. It's still lower than the 50 average mark, but quite high, concerning that he is the leading candidate within these polls. He's followed closely by Honorable Babu Owino with 28.6%. Honorable Tim Wanyonyi follows third with a rating of 25.3%, while the incumbent Johnson Sakaja trails at 8.4%. And this indicates a highly competitive race, with Gakuya as the current front runner, and Sakaja's low support suggests that there may be a strong voter dissatisfaction that needs to be addressed, particularly by the incumbent, looking at the fact that he is also valid for the race come in 2027. It means that there is a lot that needs to be done to be able to reshape these outcomes, with Gakuya at the lead with 35.7, Babu Owino 28.6, Wanyonyi coming closely with 25.3, but the fact that Sakaja is missing even the 10% mark is quite a worrying situation on that matter. Moving on to the senatorial race, is that Honorable Edwin Sifuna actually dominates with 88.3%, far ahead his competitors, who are within the polls was Karen Nyamo with 6.4%, and Bishop Margaret Wanjiru with 3.1%. 1.3% of the voters remain undecided, and in the senatorial race, it seems like Sifuna enjoys an overwhelming popularity, likely due to the incumbency advantage and probably strong grassroots engagement. Now, moving on to the woman representative, the affirmative action here. Here we have Honorable Esther Passaris leading with 43.1%. 27.5 prefer Honorable Wangui B. Nganga, while 16.3% support Honorable Millicent Omanga, and 11.4% remain undecided. With this, we are able to see that Honorable Passaris, the current woman representative, is favored but still faces significant competition. And also the undecided voters, 11.4%, could also sway this vote in case the elections were done today. Passaris would take it, but the competition, particularly coming from Honorable Ngoi Binganga, is quite close, and also Millicent Omanga, who have been able to go above the 15%, and the 11.4 who are undecided could possibly shift the situation here. Now, looking at the actionable insights and perhaps recommendations from this study, maybe for the leading candidates, who are Gakuya, who's leading the gubernatorial poll, Honorable Edwin Sifuna on the senatorial piece, and Honorable Esther Passaris as the woman representative, would be to maintain the momentum, to strengthen voter engagement through targeted campaigns and highlighting their achievements and future plans, because that communication, particularly to the voters on what you are doing, may be key for maintaining that momentum, which is promising for them, and also address the undecided voters, because it also means there is quite a huge percentage of voters who are not yet convinced in one way or the other, and perhaps on focusing on matters such as service delivery, youth employment could consolidate this support. For the trailing candidates, that would be the incumbent governor, Honorable Johnson Sakaja, Karen Nyamu, who is seemingly seeking, or rather would has come out as one of the contenders within the senatorial race, and Millicent Omanga, who is trailing within the woman representative poll, would be perhaps to rebrand themselves, reassess the priorities of the voters, notice issues such as economic grievances, and also maybe recalibrate their messaging to be able to have a more favorable outcome in future polls, as well as invest in grassroots motions such as a door-to-door, to be able to rebuild some trust, because if you're looking at the 2027 polls, they are not in a very favorable position. Now, looking at the early polling, we can be able to look into matters concerning maybe the elections that are coming, would be first to ensure that, for all of them actually, to ensure they keep a close look, particularly on the polls, maybe have them and even note their outcomes within several periods and series to be able to see if their impacts are creating that necessary impact to the voters as is. And that is perhaps the ending part of this study that was able to engage 1,068 respondents through computerized telephonic interviews, although that was a challenge because it usually skews the members of the public who do not have access to it, but noting that around 67% do have access to telephone connection in one way or another, also gives the study a more robust footing. And also looking at the various issues, maybe if we were to look at a finality of the likely election outcome, yes, say it was done today, we would be seeing Honorable Gakuya likely to win the governorship, but maybe there would be a runoff, maybe there would be a tight margin, but if it was happening right now, that is what would happen. Sifuna would secure the Senate seat decisively. It would be more or less landslide for him with 88.3% within the ratings, and Passaris remains competitive, but also that undecided piece is something to
From my vantage point within the executive office of the president, I can affirm that the coordination of these efforts, ensuring effective alignment, performance, service delivery, and impact across ministries and sectors remains a high national priority. Our collective ambition is clear, not merely to adapt technology, but to shape it, govern it responsibly, and ensure that it uplifts the standards of living of all Kenyans for purposes of both economic growth and economic development. Universities are at the heart of this transformation, and I therefore urge institutions such as Rongo University to effectively integrate AI and other emerging technologies and digital literacy across all fields of study, from science and engineering to agriculture, health, and even humanities. I encourage you to promote interdisciplinary research that addresses real-world challenges, especially those affecting our rural communities. I call upon you, therefore, to uphold ethical standards, ensure fairness, impartiality, transparency, and accountability in technological innovation. I also, in equal measure, invite you to foster innovation ecosystems that nurture startups, entrepreneurial thinking, and community-driven solutions. And I challenge you to strengthen partnerships with the government, industry, and civil society to accelerate the translation of research into tangible positive impact. Research must be effectively linked to practical situations in the market.